Hello, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Happy Ramadan from everybody at AddiBiotics. Wishing peace and blessings upon you all. And today we're going to be talking about the beginning of the public call to Islam and the early opposition as well. So this was a critical phase in the theory when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, began openly calling people to the message of Islam after years of private invitation, and how the Quraysh initially reacted to that call. This period shows us the strength of his message and the hostility he faced when establishing power structures. Understanding this teaches us deep lessons about leadership, courage, and perseverance. Number 1. Transition to the public call. After receiving revelation privately and inviting his closest family members and companions to Islam, the Prophet, peace be upon him, reached a point where Allah commanded him to announce his message publicly. This was a major turning point. Until this stage, Islam had only been known by mainly within a small circle. Now the entire city of Makkah was called to being worshipped Allah alone and abandoning idol worship. This marked the beginning of Islam's public presence, and not just as a social idea, but as a call to spiritual and moral transformation. Number 2, the core message. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, began speaking publicly, his message was simple but powerful. Worship Allah alone, do not associate partners with him, uphold justice and reject falsehood. He called for moral reform, clarifying in belief and returning to monotheism, reminding people of the legacy of past prophets such as Ibrahim, Musa, and Isa, peace be upon them all. This message was meant to awaken hearts and not often sensibilities, but yet it directly challenged the social, economic, and religious norms of the Qurayshi. Number 3, initial reactions from the Qurayshi. Where the response from the Qurayshi, the dominant tribe of Makkah, was swift and intense. At first, some responded with rejection, mockery, ridicule, dismissal of the message, and attempts to shame the Prophet, peace be upon him. They found it easier to insult the Prophet, peace be upon him, than deal with the message's spiritual and ethical force. This rejection was rooted in economic interest. Idol worship was tied to the pilgrimage tribe, social influence and power structures, fear of losing status and tradition. So they began a campaign not against the message, but against the messenger himself. Number 4, personal attacks and early hardship. As the opposition grew, the Qurayshi began using social presence and ridicule to undermine the Prophet, peace be upon him, calling him a poet, trying to reduce revelation to an art, saying he was possessed, trying to discredit his mind, attempting to shame him socially and mock his mission. None of these tactics worked. Instead of retreating, the Prophet, peace be upon him, responded with patience, dignity, and clarity. But even when the insults were personal, he never resorted to insult in return. His character stood firm, an embodiment of the moral principles he was preaching. Number 5, early supporters and small groups. While many rejected the message, some individuals embraced Islam earlier on. His wife, Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, was the first to believe. His cousin Ali, was among the first young believers. He freed companion Zayd bin Uthra, who we spoke about earlier, may Allah be pleased with him, accepted the message. Some others from the early believers began meeting quietly and strengthening each other. This showed that in an environment of hostility, truth finds his believers. A community begins to form. In conclusion, the beginning of the public call to Islam marked a decisive stage in the Prophet, peace be upon him's mission. From private reflection to public proclamation, he shared a message that called to the worship of one true God. It confirmed deep-rooted beliefs and economic interest. It faced rejection, ridicule, and early persecution. Yet it also gathered sincere hearts who believed despite pressure. So now time for reflective thoughts. When you're going to do something different in life compared to the norm of everyday society, where it's always, for example, working a 9-to-5 job, they get up early, they go to work, they work so many hours, they come back, relax and do whatever they do, and then go to sleep and get up the next morning, do the same thing over again. When you break away from the norm of society, you are going to get a lot of people facing you saying, no, that's wrong, stick to this plan, it's the easiest one, no, stick to that instead, it's the easiest thing to do. No, this is the safest option. No, But when you're trying to tell a message that could change someone's life, that it could benefit millions of people as time goes on, you are going to come across a lot of oppositions as time goes on. It could come from the form of your own family, it'll come from your friends, it'll come from wherever you place your place of work, wherever. The list goes on and it's endless. You are going to come across this. This is never going to be a smooth ride, and you are going to suffer insults from people, but there is no point in stooping down to their level, just like the Prophet, peace be upon him, did. People insulted him, he never resorted back with insults, he just kindly forgave somebody and moved on with his life, and that's what we should always do. So I hope you like this message, everybody. I hope it's going well for you. Again, from everybody, a big happy Ramadan from everyone at AddiBiotics. You all know the drill. Click subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next lecture as well. All the best, and God bless.